Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, as you guys know, the situation surrounding Shannon Sharpe has been, it's been a big surprise, right? Especially if you think about where Shannon is coming from in terms of the heights that he was at. And it's also important to state that he's still there, right? Shannon Sharpe is still one of the biggest voices in sports media. He's still talked about a lot. He's still very popular. His podcasts still get a lot of views, a lot of downloads. So I don't want to overblow the thing like, oh, Shannon Sharpe just disappeared. He didn't. But ever since he left FS1, where he was pretty much a big deal there, his career in media just absolutely exploded. And it kicked off with that famous, which probably then became infamous, but still famous interview that he had with Katt that absolutely broke the internet, right? That interview broke the internet. And the individual interview, I think, got, at one point I remember it was at 60 million views, right? Became the most watched interview ever in YouTube history, broke Joe Rogan's record. The interview now must be at least 70 something million views, just the individual interview. But then if you combine all the separate clips, right, that he released subsequently, that interview now must have at least 120-30 million views, right? It was just crazy stuff. And it was a seminal moment for Shannon Sharpe's career, and it was one that pushed him into a stratosphere that he hadn't been before, where it essentially became the big three, if we're talking sports media, with Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and Pat McAfee, right? He then went to ESPN First Take, and he was bringing in record-breaking numbers. But in the aftermath of that Katt Williams interview, yes, it came with a lot of success. It came with a lot of exposure, obviously a lot of money. He himself said, I think he made over $5 million off of that interview alone, or he said he made more money on that one interview than he did in a single season playing as a professional NFL player. So Shannon Sharpe made a lot of money from that interview. But with the success came a lot of turmoil, right? And it came in the form of the enemies that he created. And it was just born out of the nature of the interview, where essentially you had Katt Williams, who now seems like a seer, right? Because Katt Williams came on there, he talked about Diddy got arrested. Then he talked about Shannon Sharpe, and I have nothing against white women, but what he said, oh, you need to be afraid of white women and all of that stuff. And then now he finds himself in that situation. So Katt Williams looks like a damn oracle. But with that interview came a lot of drama, because Katt was going at a lot of famous people, right? And a lot of famous people got upset with Shannon Sharpe for basically creating a platform for where Katt would go out there and trash various comedians. And then, of course, he had the Monique interview where she came on there and she voiced her grievances of various people. I think she even spoke, what was it, against Steve Harvey? I don't remember, but Shannon ended up making a lot of enemies along the way, right? Where a lot of people said that, look, they're not going to go to Club Shay. They call it Club Messe. That's what they used to say, right? It was pretty bad. But then we fast forward, Shannon experienced a lot of success, and just about a month or so ago, we heard that Shannon Sharpe was in line to get a $100 million contract for an amalgamation of podcasts I believe that he owns. And then all of a sudden that $50 million bombshell lawsuit dropped, and it just became one thing after the other. Me and like many other people have been covering the story. So this morning I was going through the internet, I came across an article from Vibe.com, Vibe magazine, and it has the following headline saying, Stephen A. Smith believes Shannon Sharpe became a target after viral Katt Williams interview. Smith blasts those seemingly taking joy in witnessing Sharpe's potential downfall. Stephen A. Smith is standing firmly behind his First Take co-star Shannon Sharpe amid growing controversy, expressing disappointment over the recent public scrutiny and backlash Sharpe has faced after being hit with sexual assault allegations. During an interview with radio host Big Boy, Smith addressed the ongoing sexual assault lawsuit filed against Sharpe and how he believes the fervent reaction from some in the media and elsewhere is no coincidence. people have been after him ever since he did the Katt Williams interview, the Queens native said, referring to the explosive interview in which Katt Williams delivered unfiltered takes on various celebrities and his career, garnering millions of views within days of its release in January 2024. They've been in his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride the wave, Smith said. Smith didn't shy away from calling out those he sees as a malicious wave of backlash aimed at Sharpe. While acknowledging that the public discussion of the lawsuit is inevitable, Smith criticized the tone and energy some critics have brought to the conversation. I'm not talking about what people are talking about and what they have to talk about. I'm talking about the zest with which they do it, he stated. You see a joy that some people are having in going at him, and that's sad. You can talk about it, but we know the difference in terms of the flavor that you're bringing to an equation where you're talking about somebody with glee and joy in your voice when you're talking about the kind of predicament they're in. And that's what I got a problem with. Smith concluded by sharing his concern not only for Sharpe's personally, but the impact this could have on First Take. To see the great things that he has been doing, and to know the potential is out there for all of this to be derailed, I'm incredibly sad for him. I'm sad for us as a show because we're better with him than without him. But right now, it's about getting him. It's about him getting his house in order and doing what he can to get past all of this. And then the article then goes on to say a few other things there. So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Some people will probably applaud Stephen A. Smith for coming to the defense of Shannon Sharpe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People had talked about this. Mace at one point had brought up why did you defend Jay-Z and you didn't defend Shannon Sharpe initially? What are my thoughts on this? Look, it gets annoying listening to Stephen A. Smith wag his fingers at people and call out people for things that he himself does. Let's just keep it a stack here. Stephen A. Smith is defending Shannon Sharpe for two reasons and two reasons only. One, because he has a personal relationship with him. Two, because he's a colleague of his. That is all. He's talking about the fervor and this and how people are talking about it and the zest and the flavor. Did you see any of Stephen A. Smith's clips when he was talking about the Diddy case? Did you see any of them? I suggest you go back and look at some of those. Just search Stephen A. Smith and Diddy. Go look at some of those videos of Stephen A. Smith going at Diddy, going off on Diddy, using every opportunity he can to talk about Diddy. Every opportunity, inviting in Torre. Everybody came to his show. At one point, he even had Jadakiss on there talking about Diddy. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? This the dude that's talking about the flavor and the zest at which people are going. It's like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, let's stop the nonsense. Let's stop the nonsense. Let's stop this sanctimonious behavior. You talked about Diddy the way you talked about Diddy because, one, you probably thought it was the wave because everybody was getting at Diddy. So it was the wave. I'm going to ride that wave and get at Diddy too. It's something to talk about. It's something that's going to generate a lot of views and downloads for my podcast. So I'm going to do that. There was no, people taking glee out of it and how they're talking about it. You was going off on it. You were letting your feelings be known. You were hollering, especially when I think he took down the video of an apology. What are you doing? And blah, 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 blah. You had a lot to say. You had a lot to say. But now you want to turn around and start pointing fingers and wagging fingers at other people for how they decided to discuss the Shannon Sharpe situation. I'm lost. How can you call out a behavior that you yourself have done? I'm lost here. I'm lost. A lot of this comes down to people. A lot of this comes down to who we like and who we don't like. There was a green light on Diddy because a lot of people don't like Diddy. It is a fact. So it was okay to go at Diddy, call him whatever names. They was calling him no Diddy and all this other stuff because people don't like him. Right? But in the case of Shannon, Shannon is way more likable than Diddy. So therefore, people will say, oh, no, don't say this, don't say that, don't say this. Don't say, well, it has nothing to do with whether or not you're covering a story. Do I like this person or not? That's all it is. But to wag your fingers, I'm just the people making the like, yo, bro, stop. There's a whole bunch of videos of you going at people. And in many cases, before even the news came out, go look at some Deshaun Watson videos of you going at people. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, let's stop with the hypocrisy. Let's just stop. Just say, that's my man, and I don't like the fact people going at him. But don't try to play this role of, oh, I'm above it all, and you guys are trying to take shots at Shannon, and people are trying to, man, stop. Stop. We just watched literally the whole internet railroad Diddy. Matter of fact, the whole internet has already put Diddy in jail. The trial is supposed to start May 5th. A lot of people already got him under the jail. Under the jail. But these be the same people that talk around, oh, man, you know, you hating on a black man. I know you dudes. I know you dudes. Oh, man, you hating on a black man. You don't want to see a black man succeed. No Diddy. You can never take people seriously. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show and I'm out. Peace.